It's now 42 minutes after 7, time for my banner. And this is a conversation that is so close to my heart. Last Wednesday night, the Kumasi Central Market, which is notorious for fire outbreaks, was up in flames with reports of heavy losses to traders. And then on Friday, the Achimota Forest in Accra as well, and then the Amman from Sanctuary in the Bono Ahafo region were all up in flames. We're wondering what's happening. How many days into 2016 and how many fires already? There have been a number of outbreaks, and today is only January 12. So we thought, why don't we get the National Fire Service to be with us today to tell us what's happening, what can we do, especially in our homes. So I've got Mr. Prince Billy Anaglate, who is the National Deputy Public Relations Officer of the Ghana National Fire Service, who's joining me. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Happy New Year.
Many, many happy returns.
Yeah. So first of all, should we be worried 12th of January into 2016?
Yes, of course, we should be worried, especially the fire service. Why? Just that the fire service before the Harmattan, if you look at the measures put in place, that includes the intensification of fire safety education to ensure that we reach out to all segments of society using several means and strategies to educate people, including drama, including music, where we enshrine some of these music safety messages, to the extent of going beyond that to train 500 volunteers to augment the existing ones that should also operate in those, especially those communities that we do not have fire stations, that they will be educating people, monitoring people, that it was just left for the public also to complement our efforts to ensure that at least these fires, especially the preventable ones, do not occur, because we are aware that some of the fires are, through an accidental, natural causes. If I say accidental, where we can take off human factor. So if 90% of all these fires that are occurring and has some human factor to it, then we should be worried, and especially where several measures are put in place to prevent it.
So officially across the country, how many fires have we had in 2016 alone?
2016, we are not able to collate all the statistics from the whole region, but Greater Accra alone, we had 51.
51?
Yeah.
Just 12 days?
Yes, exactly, 51. But if you just oppose this to the previous years, especially last year, the same period, within the first 2 weeks, we have 150.
So this is even less?
Yes, it's even less. Apart from that, if you look at the last year, within the same period, this were the period we're having several major fires. Markets were inflamed from one day to each other. You see market fires here and there. Not only in Accra, many other places with other facilities being destroyed in fire of concern, at least facilities of concern. But this one, I'm not saying that those fires that are occurring are not of concern, but well, many of these fires that are occurring are related to bush fires from the majority. Unlike last year where, it was though the bush fires were there, but several of the government facilities, industries, warehouses were involved.
So what's peculiar about this 51 that we've had, even in the Greater Accra region alone?
What our investigations are pointing out to is that most of those fires, especially the bush fires that we are talking of, are actually related to especially people that are smokers. Smokers in the sense that even if you look at our motorway, along the motorway and our highways, most of our even electrical poles and are involved in this fire, just because if you look at it, apart from people that are even chasing rodents, and because of that they are setting fires to it, people are also throwing cigarette butts through windows of vehicles and walking by, and then it's starting some of these fires. If you look at the Achimota fire, those the information we gathered from those people that were available, before the fire, we were told it was from weed smokers. And then, though we are investigating it, but then it is possible that weed smokers could also contribute to some of this, because you are looking at how people dispose of some of these fires. You are looking at how people are able to, ensure that the fires do not occur. If you look at this period that I said we put in measures, the education was centered on how people to prevent the fires. So those farmers that we think have been responsible to make some of these major fires previously, we were concentrating on them, telling them that it is wrong for them within this period that everything is dry. The harmattan, the dry wind, has actually taken the moisture content from all these combustible materials. So with the slightest heat source, the material could start burning. So it would be wrong for anybody using fire within these periods to clear the bush just for farming. But we have not let it there. We complement that by ensuring that the volunteers that we have trained us to know how to handle those way of even burning. So if it is even necessary that you burn it, then you need to contact the volunteers. They will get in there and create a fireball by weeding around the area you want to burn. So that it will not even cause any other thing. So,
but are they easily accessible?
They are.
Does it come at a certain cost?
No, the volunteers, they don't charge. Fire service, they don't charge for all that we do. So
I can just call on the fire service and say that I want to clear my plots of land, but I am afraid if I did it on my own, the fire could spread and I would not be able to control it.
Yeah, within this period, if you want to, clear your area, and it is just that you want to use fire, then we should know why you really want to use fire. So if it is necessary, that's the word. If it is necessary that you think there is no other way you can clear it, but it's only fire you want to use to clear it, then we need to assist you as to how to go about it.
A colleague had the unfortunate experience.
Okay.
He two of his room, he did mention, got bent because, and this had to do with fluctuations, power fluctuations. Exactly. But he said he called the short code and nobody answered him. Finally, he had to call the police emergency number, which is not the short code, but the 0302 number 7 something something something. So what's happening to your short code?
Well, the short code, we should also admit that they are like the cell phones that we use. And there are times that, you can use the short code for MTN, Tigo and all that. Mm-hmm. But there are times that if it is faulty also, you might call and it doesn't come. So what we do is that apart from the short code, we give some other numbers that, when the short code is like, it might be ringing, but I might not have even gotten to fires.
So let me do a quick test now, maybe in the next 2 minutes. Send me what you think are the numbers to get through the National Fire Service. So either the short code or any of the other numbers. You can send me on my WhatsApp number right now in the next 2 minutes. 0560. Okay, Fred, you have to help me. I think my leave days have taken all the numbers in my head. It's on the screen right now. The WhatsApp number is on your screen. WhatsApp me, what do you think the National Fire Service, the numbers to get them in case there's an emergency, what it is right now. So what can I call the fire service? Elsewhere, any kind of emergency, if there's an accident to the fire service, is it the same in Ghana or you guys are just fires?
No, not at all. If we talk of fire service, we are to protect life from all life-threatening situations, building collapse, accidents when people are trapping, floods, people falling in a pit, somebody, remains at the heights. Quite recently, somebody climbed onto the pylon, the electric pole, the top there, and was refusing to come down. It was the fire service that went in there to rescue those people, the person. So the fire service is solely the only agency that ensured that lives are protected from all life-threatening situations. So that is exactly what we have been doing. Unfortunately, like the test you want to do, I'm so happy you want to do it, because many people, when it comes to emergency situation, they call different numbers thinking they are also calling the fire service number. You get to premises and then you get to even offices that you've been before, you have dictated on their numbers, you get in there and then nobody knows the number. So it is also the same way that people don't know what the fire service, are established to do. If you come to road traffic collision extrication, where people are trapping, severally we see people getting in there to extricate people that have aggravated the situation of the people. But if you call the fire service, when we come in to extricate the people, what will happen is that we would prevent further injury to the person. That will even improve recovery. So if you get in there, probably there are accident and you've gone in to vigorously shake the person by moving it, that will also result to a further injury to the person. So the fire service is not only by firefighting, but with the period that we are in, the fires that are coming, if we have 90% of all these fires that are preventable, yet they are coming, then I think the public has a lot to do, a bigger role to play, so that we can prevent some of these preventable.
Okay. So Ibrahim Malik, I got your first message. Thank you for all the nice things you say. But Ibrahim is in the Upper West region. He says, why fire outbreak in Kumasi every year, not any other place? And then on the emergency, he says 999. I'm not telling if it's true or not. And this one says, emergency line faulty. No one at hand to receive the emergency. Then why call them emergency line? And then he says, I only know 192 and then one crown per hour. MD Kwesi Ima in Akosombo. Happy New Year to you. So this is what I'm going to do. Is it 999 or is 192?
You're asking me?
Yes, I'm asking you now.
Yeah, somebody gave 999. That is what they do. So when you get there, they will tell you we're calling fire service, they were not picking. 999 is not fire service emergency number. It terminates at PNT. That's how when you are calling 999, it will be ringing, but it is not getting to fire service. So it's 192. 192. So you get to, emergencies and people are attacking firemen that we were calling them. That is what I said. Let me see the number you call. Many of them, and some funny numbers that do not even exist in
okay. Yes. Umar Abubakar in Yendi says the number is 9292 or 922.
192.
Hey, so Umar, where do you get your 9292 and 922?
So you are getting.
But you see, I just called the 192, it rang and then it just cut. No response.
So try it again, let's see. But this technology, the system, it happens,
And this one didn't go through. I'm trying the 192, which is the emergency number. And right now it's line busy.
Yeah, you see, there is another aspect to it. That is why we said if you call the 192, you can call the other one. Because the 192 is a toll-free, people abuse it.
It's ringing now.
Okay.
We're trying the emergency national service number right now. But where does it go? Where's the central point for this 192? No response.
Yeah, actually, it's supposed to be localized. That as you called here, the closest fire station should pick it.
So what's the closest to me right now in Kukumlimli?
Yeah, here it is the industrial area fire station, STC yard.
Okay.
But as you also admit that there are problems to this.
But nobody has picked, and I've called like twice.
The MTN is trying to resolve it, that even now they call from the northern region and it's come to Accra, our central control room. Then we again will have to call the appropriate police that it do.
So what's the number to call if 192 is not working?
0302
0302
772
772
446
446. Yeah. That's the only number, or there's an extra?
For now, for emergency numbers.
So
apart from
this is a landline. It's not an emergency that somebody can transfer your call and then they can pick another call on the same number.
No, it's an emergency number. It has been tuned to one of the 192 lines, so perfectly.
Hiya, how may I help you?
Hi, my name is Mama V. I work with Joy News Television. I'm trying your emergency number. Apologies that I have called.
So you tell them that I'm around here.
Okay, so thank you very much.
Welcome, ma'am. Have a nice day.
You too. Okay, so this...
Yeah, so if the one, like I'm saying that, what network did you use?
This is MTN.
You use MTN?
I use MTN for the local call.
Oh, okay. I would have wished if we were to have some other, probably network, Tigo or something, use it. There are times that when the receiver is faulty at times, you might call it to ring that it will not get there. I can't tell the status of the MTN there in the control room for now.
Okay. This message says you have to write it always in the daily newspapers.
They should store it on their phones.
Okay, this is, it says, my name is Mamiefa from Kumasi. My concern is not on the fire service issue, but those Al-Qaeda people the government has accepted into our country. It's election year and we have to be very careful. They could also be ISIS trainers since they are now gathering people in Ghana. They could also be here just to assist the tyrants during elections to kill Ghanaians. We should be careful, Ghana. All right. And then tell the fire officer they should take more people to work at their control room with more numbers. Do you have issues with numbers?
Well, actually, yes. We are even requesting for more numbers in our control room. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ibrahim in Takwa says, just imagine your call even isn't picked. CEO. I get it, but the second number that you gave, and I'm going to announce the number again, the fire service emergency is not reliable because a room at Barney Hostel, University of Ghana was burning and the fire service got there when students had tried their best to get the fire down, which is bad, and it's from Jerry sending us that message. This one says, 51 fire in 2 weeks, that is serious. Eric from Takrady. And then Ibrahim Malik says, which area is the limits of the line as I am in the Upper West if I have fire outbreak?
I didn't get that.
Okay, so this number that you've just given, the 0302 772 446,
exactly.
Can we call from all other regions?
Oh, yes, yes. Wherever you find yourself in Ghana.
But where is it coming to? It's coming to Accra.
Accra here. Accra.
And then what would they do?
Quickly, when they receive the code, we have our Motorola, we have our, they will quickly call the specific closer, station to where you are calling from. So the issue is that when you are calling any of our number, what you should do is just follow the procedure, mention your name, tell them what the incident is, where exactly the incident is. Then if there is any landmark, just give it to us. So as long as those even in Accra here receive it, quickly they know which of the stations that... So like you were saying, if there should be any fire around this area and I'm here, the first I would do is to call the industrial area because I have their number to call. But anybody calling that it gets into our control room and you tell them that there is fire around this area, they will look at the closest fire station. And then you will also be able to determine the traffic situation at times. Some you might have the closest fire station, but the terrain or other thing, you look at some that may be a little bit further than the closest. But looking at the terrain, they might get there in time. So they will call them and then...
Is it possible for me to have access to the industrial area fire service? I mean, can I have their number too? Or there's no number to reach them? I just have to call.
That is the 192. Like I was telling you that the 192 is localized that when you called.
It will just divert to the closest from where you're calling from.
Very good, the closest.
But that doesn't work. I mean, so how can we get it to work?
That is what I said. It works at times. Like you called, I was suspecting that industrial area fire station should pick it. But at times also, all these things, we have problem with technology that at times people even call 192 from the north, that it gets to Accra. But that is the system that it should be localized, that any time that you call closest, then it gets to the closest fire station.
What are your greatest challenges now, Ghana National Fire Service?
Our greatest challenge is people, first of all, abusing the emergency number. If you get into our control room, within 5 minutes, you will be surprised to know the number of prank calls, the number of people that are calling without any emergency. They call consistently, and then that is how it is. As they have engaged in a number, people who even genuinely want to use it do not get it. That has been the biggest challenge that we have.
Okay.
The other one is about even people calling in and they are not able to direct us to the exact, do
you blame us?
We do. Why not?
How?
When people live in their homes that they don't even know their house numbers.
But even if I give you the house number, I tell you what, you couldn't get there.
Why? Give us the house number.
This new numbering system and the name, the street names, are you familiar with them?
I wouldn't say we are familiar with all, but you give us a landmark, okay? So if there is fire, around this area and the person is giving us the house number, I believe the best the person should do is to say that close to Joy News or whatever, multi-TV or everybody, will know where to drive to. And fire will not be hidden. When we get to multi-TV, definitely the smoke will determine where the fire is.
Quickly, in wrapping up, I've got to read some of the messages. Just recently, there was fire outbreak in Kumasi near former President Kufuor's family house. After the people came, they said there was no water in their van from Patao laundry service in Kumasi. Okay, this one says, Kumasi lines are not working. Please, none of the line in Kumasi is working. None of Vodafone lines are working. And then he gives, what is the fire line for Ashanti? Because 22221 is not working. Is there a certain number for the Ashanti region?
We don't have 22221.
Okay.
Okay, the landline, he's talking of the landline.
Okay.
But I can't tell whether it's working. I know they have that, but I can't tell whether it's working or not. But recently, I'm also aware that the landlines, there have been a problem with, some of the landlines. So yeah.
Okay, so this is Brema in Insuta, who says that you dislike coming to the villages when there's an outbreak.
What is that supposed to be?
I am not sure.
When we have even trained volunteers in those communities that we do not have fire station. So if there is no fire station in your community, at least we'll make a provision for fire volunteers in that community that when it happens, they will be able to assist you. Apart from that, if you call us, we will definitely also, drive to wherever the fire is. We've been driving for a long distance. We've been crossing borders and going to fight fires in other countries. So why not say in our own country and villages?
This is the Prince in Doma East, who says at a point where we desperately need the fire service to help quench serious fires, they tell us that there's no water. The situation is very common to Brekum and Doma stations. Please set up and fill your tanks always. The Prince sending us that message. But how on earth can you drive to a place and say you don't have water?
It's not possible. It has never happened in the history of the fire service.
It has never happened?
It has never.
But I have heard this. This is not the first time I'm hearing.
Yes, because they don't understand the technicality of it. At times, I do not blame them because we do not have the specification of fire hydrants in the communities. Even areas that we even have fire hydrants, there are times that you get in there is no water passing through them. The situation is that when we get to a scene and we start fighting fire from with the water in the tender, quickly we need to couple our delivery hoses to a hydrant. That will give us uninterrupted water supply. But because the hydrants are not there, until recently that we have 3,000 gallons water capacity tenders. And even these 3,000 gallons water capacity, as against the 800 we were using, the 3,000 will get exhausted within 10-15 minutes.
How many of them do we have now?
We have over 200.
So every region at least has a certain number that can cater?
Yes, every region has, fire tenders. But as long as we do not have fire stations in all the communities, some areas might not have it. Even in Accra, we have earmarked 13 areas in the greater Accra here to have...
which should have stations,
which should have fire
but
stations.
We don't.
No, but before the close of last year, the chief officer was trying hard to ensure that every district have a fire station. So even in the greater Accra here, we have commissioned about 6 fire stations in the greater Accra here. Some other regions have seen new fire stations.
Whose responsibility is it to build the stations?
The assemblies and the fire stations.
Okay. My friend MD Kwesing Imaina Kosombo says, no, Mama V, I actually agree. They should publish it frequently. I knew the 192 because it was on the old phone booths. and it has been over 15 years now, but I still remember. So frequent publication of the numbers is the right way to go. I think you should consider it. And I'm sure the newspapers will freely do it for you.
We've been doing it. That is not to say we've been doing it, but what I want to say is that people should also make an effort to store the numbers on their phone. They should write it in their offices, in their homes. You see, when there is emergency, people don't think properly, so you tend to forget even the number. Yeah. But if it's written somewhere, then quickly you'll be able to,
okay.
Look at
so
it.
We've got to wrap this up. Jerry is asking which fire extinguisher is the best for electrical or gas burn, because I understand not all extinguishers can solve all fire problems. But because we have to wrap up, what do you say if we have a longer conversation and we talk about all these little things? Let's have a date right here. You agree? We can do this again?
Oh, yes,
and
of
then
course.
We'll talk
yes.
about
I think when it comes to fire, they say we should be publishing, so we need to be talking about it as well.
You have to give us something small.
Yes,
but let me give you the number again. 0302 772 446. I beg you. I have tried it right now. It works, so don't try again. No prank calls, only emergency. Mr. Naglati, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for the opportunity. But the person asking of the extinguisher, you should go in for dry chemical powder. You can use it for all fires.
Dry chemical powder. Okay, Jerry, there you go. So thank you so much for being here. Yeah. We'll have you again very soon.
Thank you.
Stay with us. We've got AM Talk with Roland Walker. Thank you all for the messages. Apologies if I couldn't read all.